Space, the place that never ends, the place that holds our planets, our galaxy, and any other galaxies. We've learned so much, but we would have never known the things we know today if it wasn't for the people who first started to observe the beyond. It all started 6,000 years ago with the Mesopotamians. They were the first astronomers to make long-term written records. They built observatories called ziggurats, which represented the sun, moon, and planets. They also created time based on the motion of the sun. Then came the Egyptians. The Egyptians, however, used astronomy for practical purposes like predicting a flood and aligned temples and monuments. They aligned the monuments to the cardinal points north, south, east, and west. Even Stonehenge has its purpose in astronomy. It marks the sunrise at the solstices, and the HoA stone allows the sun rising on solstice. In the 13th century BC, the Chinese contributed with their endless records of eclipses. They observed 900 solar eclipses in 6. In 585 BC, Thales predicted a total solar eclipse. From 582 to 500, Pythagoras had developed a model that showed celestial bodies moving in a circular motion. They believed that they were all sphere-shaped. In 500 BC, the Babylonians used long records of observations to see regularities and patterns in the motions of the moon and planets. They determined the planet's synodic period and were able to predict the. In 384 to 322 BC, Aristotle had stated that Earth must be sphere-shaped as well as the moon. He also stated that Earth must be motionless at the center of the universe. From 310 to 230 BC, Aristarchus went on a different path and used geometry. From 276 to 195 BC, Eratosthenes also used geometry in his studies. He used it to calculate the size of Earth. Then in 134 BC, Hippocrates created a chart of stars that were the brightest, most visible. Then came the Mayans. About 1,000 years ago, they built their buildings to align them in position of the sunrise and sunset. They also aligned buildings with Venus, which was very important to them. From AD 127 to 151, Ptolemy completed a system that accurately showed the motions of the planets, using a combination of regular circular motions. He was the first to make a map with north on the top and east on the right. Ptolemy's book, Almagest, gave improved methods for finding the distance of the sun and moon. It also showed a catalog of over 1,000 stars with their coordinates and their brightness. Later, the Arabs and Muslims created the first observatories that were able to measure the positions of the celestial objects. They also had timekeeping devices to mark the time of observation and had endless supplies of manuscripts in their libraries. Copernicus, born 1473 to 1543, was the first to fully develop the heliocentric model of the solar system. Brahe, born 1546 to 1642, was technology advanced and was able to get more accurate information than any previous astronomer. His shop was filled with all types of astronomical instruments and assistants to help him. Galileo, born 1564 to 1642, heard about the telescope in 1609. He built one himself and quickly made important observations of the stars, moon, sun, and Kepler, who was born in 1571 to 1630, created the laws of planetary motion. Newton, born 1642 to 1727, discovered the gravity motion and the orbits of the planets. Edmund Halley, born 1656 to 1742, discovered the position changes of the stars called proper motion. Einstein, born 1879 to 1955, proposed the existence of a self-repelling property of space. Niels Bohr, born 1885 to 1962, discovered that atoms give off electromagnetic radiation as a result of electrons jumping to different orbit levels. His ideas formed the basis of future atomic research. Wolfgang Paul, born 1900 to 1958, helped lay foundations of the quantum theory of fields. Werner Heisenberg, born 1901 to 1976, was a key creator of quantum mechanics. He discovered a way to formulate quantum mechanics in terms of matrices. In 1923, Edwin Hubble found the distance to the Andromeda Nebula. He figured out that the Milky Way galaxy is just one of many galaxies. George Lemaitre, born 1894 to 1966, developed the Big Bang Theory. In 1939, Robert Oppenheimer calculated the properties of a star made entirely of a gas-degenerate neutrons. Fred Boyle, born 1915 to 2001, believed that the elements are generated in evolving stars and inflicted into the interstellar medium by supernova explosions. In 1965, Penzias and Wilson found the cosmic background radiation. In 1969, Armstrong and Aldrin were the first men to land on the moon. Without these people, we would have no knowledge of how space works.